This setting of the spiritual, I've Been Buked, depicts the story of slavery as told by the African American ancestors whose faith and determination helped them to cope with their existence. Replete with symbolism, the first verse of the piece, I've been buked and I've been scorned, presents the whispered chanting of the ancestors who began to retell the story of hope for deliverance. This vocal statement is supported by a simple syncopated ostinato pattern played by hand drum, claves, and tambourine. In this section, the sound of the hand drum represents the drums that were taken away from the slaves so that they could not use them to communicate. The sound of the claves represent the lashings and physical mistreatment that the slaves endured. The sound of the tambourine depicts the shackles that bound the slaves' feet to prevent an escape. The ostinato patterns found in the vocal lines, the piano accompaniment, and the percussion are all intended to capture the essence of the indigenous folk music tradition that Africans brought to America as slaves. The second verse, beginning with the words, "There is trouble all over this world," is set using modern imitative techniques in a somewhat tonally unstable context to depict the multiple layers of conflict created by slavery. More specifically, the music in this section attempts to characterize the African slaves' resistance to the pressures of assimilation into Western culture. The percussion instruments disappear from this verse altogether to further represent this potential for loss of identity and culture. The third and final verse, using the words, "Ain't gonna lay my religion down," is written in a majestic, syncopated, quasi-gospel style. The percussion instruments return with rhythmic vitality. The vocal ostinato patterns from the first verse reappear, and the imitative passages are tonally stable in the key of A major. This section symbolizes the African slaves' determination to retain their African roots, while at the same time developing new musical expressions that typify African American culture, including the spiritual, blues, ragtime, jazz, and gospel. We have 3 students from the youth choir tonight: Matthew Sorrells, who's going to play claves, Sid Bachia, who's going to play the hand drum, and Brenna Dudley, who will be playing tambourine. We hope you enjoy I've Been Buked, children.